In this video, I'm going to be giving you the best tips and tricks in the Forge, such as how to make money fast, what pickaxes to buy, what weapons and armor to craft, and much more. Before we continue, I'm streaming today at 3 p.m. EST, and I would love to see you guys there. Anyways, back to the video. Starting with the first tip being pickaxes to obtain. Now, this depends what world you're on, because as you level up, you're on a different world. Now, I'm not going to be including World 3 because I haven't exactly grinded everything out for, to give a effective guide on that. But for World 1, for the first world, I would personally ignore these two pickaxes, mainly because they're a little too overpriced and their stats are not great. But the first pickaxe I would recommend is the Stonewaker's pickaxe. As you can see, it's only 3k and it has much better stats than both of the other pickaxes. And this pickaxe is basically what's going to get you to the second world, but it's definitely better value than those other two pickaxes. Because during my first playthrough, I went from bronze, then to iron, then I just grinded and forged a ton of weapons and armor, sold them to this guy. Also, I'll give you a guide on how to make even more money later in the video. But yeah, as I was saying, I went from bronze to iron and then straight to the Stonewaker's pickaxe for 3.3k. Now for this next area in the video, you will need to be at least level 10 to travel to World 2, and I will cover how to level up and get more money faster later in the video. Now, when I first entered World 2, the first pickaxe I ever got was the Cobalt pickaxe, which is 10k and can be a lot for some people at first. If you have the Goblin race, which I would highly recommend getting the Goblin race for buying pickaxes, as it gives you a 12% discount, I think, as last time I checked. I think it might be different now, but yeah, it should be giving you a 12% discount. I will go over what races you should use later in the video as well, but yeah, for my grind, it's a little debatable on how you go around with the pickaxes. Like, some people go from titanium to straight to lightite because yeah, but typically I ignored titanium. I went from cobalt straight to mithril. I wouldn't recommend getting uranium, but if you can get the lightite, honestly, I wouldn't buy it either. For me, I went from cobalt straight to mithril and then straight to the arcane pickaxe, which is a really good pickaxe. It used to be the best pickaxe until World 3. Also, keep in mind that you are able to sell your current pickaxe if it gets you enough to buy your next pickaxe. But yeah, I would recommend cobalt straight to mithril, and then straight to the arcane pickaxe, which I'll show you how to get shortly in a bit. Now, to get the arcane pickaxe, you will have to go back to World 1. Once you spawn in, you are wanting to do the Bard's quest. The text is not going to be the same as it is for you if you haven't done the quest, and he won't have a guitar. But basically, you'll accept the quest and he will ask you to find his guitar. Now, follow exactly where I go, as this is where his guitar is. You'll just go down here, make a left, and then once you see this green area, you're just going to go down, and you'll find the skeleton, and his guitar should be up here. You just collect it. It's not there for me because I already did the quest, but yeah, you'll just collect it, and you'll go back up the ladder all the way to the Bard, and you'll just turn it into him, and he should give you a key. Now, once you get the key, you're going to want to follow exactly where I go. This is how you get the arcane pickaxe. Also, before you buy the arcane pickaxe, it is 125k, which is why I would recommend the Goblin class for its 12% discount. Anyways, follow exactly where I go. This is how you unlock the arcane pickaxe. So it should be locked right here, but because you have the key, you can obviously unlock it. Then you'll be able to go through here, and here is the arcane pickaxe. It's 125k, so you got quite a bit of grinding to do in World 2, but I would definitely recommend this because, I mean, it's probably the best for mining volcanic rock when you're in World 2. It's probably the best pickaxe to get in World 2 other than the demonic pickaxe. The stats on that one are slightly better, but it is 500k, and you can get a lot better pickaxes in World 3 for cheaper. So I would just immediately go straight to Arcane Pickaxe and then just buy pickaxes from World 2, or World 3, my bad. And yes, just keep in mind, I sold my Mithril pickaxe when I had, like, just enough. I also used Goblin class to get a good discount on the Arcane pickaxe, which allowed me to get it for World 2 just before the Frostspire Expanse update was added. Now, this next tip, sorry World 3 users, but I don't yet have a great AFK spot for you guys. But yeah, as you can see, the next tip is best spots to AFK. Sorry World 3 once again, this is only for World 2 and World 1. I haven't exactly progressed enough, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in Raven Cave or somewhere up there. And to be honest, there aren't actually that many areas to AFK in World 1, and you're most likely just gonna get to World 2 really quickly anyway. And you may have seen a lot of people AFK in this spot in particular. There might even be someone AFKing in this area right now. I'm gonna go see. But pretty much, you're just gonna go all the way up here to the ruined cave, and you're just gonna run past the masked stranger into this danger area. And then you're gonna take a right. You should see this magma pickaxe, and it seems someone's already mined this, but there should be some basalt veins that you just typically mine. As you can see, they just spawned. But yeah, this is the typical AFK area for players on World 2, and it's very effective. And it would be best for a private server. I know those cost Robux, but who knows? Maybe you could add someone on the Forge, and they may have a private server. Now, the next tip is mining. So whenever you're mining these volcanic rocks, sometimes you can't see. You can't see what the loot is. But there is actually a way that you're able to see it a little better, and it's by going to settings, hitting escape, and then hitting settings, scrolling down, and turning your graphics all the way down. As you can see, it's much easier to see. The game does look a little bit worse, but if you want to see the ores, that's probably a good way to see them. Now, the next thing I'll be going over is weapons, and I actually should have a guide to World 3 players. And for World 1, this is not entirely, I'm not sure how, like, great this is, but this is my personal opinion on what I did for World 1. To be honest, going for heavier options like the Colossal Sword or any of those, they deal really good damage and you can kill the enemies on here really, really fast. And for armor, I just went for mostly medium armor. You're not really going to need to worry too much about your armor in the first world, mainly because you're going to get to the second world extremely quickly. Now, for World 2, you are going to have a little bit of a change in your weapon choice. I wouldn't entirely recommend heavier options, as the enemies that you're going to be encountering are, they're going to be a little more difficult than others. So I wouldn't recommend a heavy weapon, as, I mean, they're a little slow. Unless you have like a one-shot heavy weapon that one-shots most of the enemies, I wouldn't go for it, especially early game. What I would go for, though, is one of these gauntlets right here. All of these are actually very solid choices, but the number one weapon that I would recommend on World 2 is a katana or a short sword. And at first, it doesn't entirely matter what you craft with, but I would recommend using legendary ores from volcanic rock or basalt veins. If you can't mine volcanic rock, just mine basalt veins. Those will still give you a lot of really good ores for forging. And then for armor, I would definitely recommend trying to get a Dark Knight chestplate, leggings, helmet, all that stuff. So just try to get the heavy gear. You can check all the required resources for these items on the wiki, or you can just put in enough items until it says heavy whatever. Like, as you can see, heavy chestplate 60%. I put whatever, like what is this? Now finally, for World 3 users, I would recommend the Raven or Wolf gear. Currently, I haven't unlocked it yet, but currently that is some of the best gear that you can get. The Wolf and the Raven gear. And then for weapon-wise, I would recommend, I don't know, maybe a one-tap weapon or a spear. Preferably the Angelic Spear. Now, the next tip is how to get a lot of money. The first tip is doing quests. As you can see, I have a ton of quests from World 3, but you can do this on pretty much any world. Just fill up with quests. Just talk to any NPC you see and see if they give you a quest. They do give a lot of money, but there is one specific quest giver that gives you a ton of money and is really, really effective when you're trying early game. So first you're going to want to be in World 2, which once again you need to be at least level 10 to enter. And you're going to go all the way, what is it, back here? I haven't done this in a while, so I might have forgot, but I'm pretty sure it's back here. Yeah, it's back here. So yeah, once again, I'll show y'all again. So you spawn in right here, you're going to turn around, and then you're going to go right like this. And you're gonna keep going to this little island to this monkey, and he'll give you a quest. Monkey's hungry. It won't be the same text because, as you can see, I've already completed it. But you want to do the one that asks for 30 bananite, which you can get from the first world by mining pebbles or rocks or whatever. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's rocks. I'm pretty sure it's only rocks that give you bananite. But yeah, you're going to want to get 30 bananite and then bring it back to him, and he will give you tens of thousands of gold. It's extremely useful for getting pickaxes. And yeah, now the next tip is the index. And by the way, all these tips apply to all the worlds because, I mean, they all have Cray, they all have someone that you can sell items to. But yeah, definitely use the index, as some things you might have newly unlocked, and when you click them, they give you a lot of gold and XP, which is really good for leveling up as well. And the final tip is forging. Do not give your items to Cray. He is a scammer. Wait, did I even say his name right? I don't know. But yeah, do not give your items to him. He does not give you much gold at all. It is just better to forge whatever you have into weapons or armor, and this applies to all worlds once again, and just sell it to the guy that just sells all the, like, whatever you're forging. Oh, and there was actually one more tip that I forgot, but I wouldn't entirely recommend it, as you might need it for enhancing, and that is going to Cray and selling your essence, because he does actually give you a lot of money for giving all your essence, but that can be a little bit of a risk, considering, I mean, you might need it for enhancement. But if you're really needing money, I would recommend that. Unless you think you're gonna need it for, like, enhancing because you're making better gear. Other than that, if you're, like, still got a lot of grinding to do and you're just trying to do this to get a better pickaxe, I would recommend it because you're probably going to get a lot more essence just by playing the game again. Keep in mind, you don't have to sell all your essence, you can just sell a little bit to get a little extra cash. And if it works best for you, you can always sell it all or choose not to. Now, the next tip is a mistake I see a lot of newbies make. And that mistake is they don't enhance their weapons. Now, this is what you're gonna need XP for, which is why I didn't entirely recommend selling your XP unless, yeah, your later game. But if you're trying to enhance a really good weapon that you're proud of, definitely go to the enhancer. As you can see, I'm here to enhance. Let's say I want to enhance this. Look, I have a 30%. At first, when your first time enhancing, it's gonna be 100%, and I would recommend trying to get this to, as you can see, 1.3 multiplier on the stats. As you can see, it's costing me a lot of essence, but it's actually not that bad for World 2. If you have World 2 weapons, it's gonna be World 2 experience. It's not gonna be the same as me because I am World 3. But the next tip to enhance your sword even more is to add runes. As you can see, runes give this cool little effect to my sword, and you're gonna want to go to the rune maker. I'll show you all the rune maker on World 2 and 3 if you're new to World 3 or new to World 2. I don't really think it's important for World 1 because you don't really need the best weapons and armor there. You're gonna get to World 2 pretty quickly. But yeah, once you go to the rune maker, welcome to my shop. I'm the local rune maker here. Do you have any runes? Yes, I'm here to craft some runes. Now, as you can see, this pickaxe doesn't have any runes, but this armor does have runes. So does this, so does this, so does this. Yeah, you're able to add specific runes. As you can see, when I click on them, they have different stats. You can hover over the stat. It says how much it deals. And let's say like this, these stats are both different. Like, freeze enemies for 2 seconds, 12% chance on hit. This says 16% chance on hit, frozen for 2 seconds, cooldown of 15. This is a cooldown of 17. So I would actually prefer this because it has a shorter cooldown and a better chance on hit. But yeah, if you have a ton of runes, it's going to be a little bit of a pain to go through all of those runes. But as of right now, the Forge has not added a really good organizing system, and I wouldn't entirely recommend putting runes on your pickaxe unless you have a lot of money, because as you can see, I'll try to add a rune to my pickaxe right here. Oh wow, it's actually super cheap. But typically, when you get something like the arcane pickaxe or a more expensive pickaxe, this was a little cheaper because I got it during the Christmas event. It will be a lot of gold. So unless you're wanting to spend a lot of gold and not really have enough for newer pickaxes like the arcane, if you already have the arcane, then it's probably not a big deal because the pickaxes on World 3 are hundreds of thousands. But yeah, if you're willing to spend that much money to put runes on your pickaxe, I wouldn't put them on Cobalt, maybe on Mithril if you're that far behind, but I would mostly save it for the arcane pickaxe. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys at the live stream as of January 9th, 2026. This is when the live stream takes place. Once again, it's at 3 p.m. EST. If you saw during the video, it said 2 p.m. I'm not EST, but since most of my fans and viewers are, that is the time. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one.